Ma'am, how did you meet Dad? Talk about that.
How did I meet him?
Yeah. Talk loud and tell us how you met him.
Oh, I happened to be in Holly at the time, and I was staying with my Uncle Joe's sister, Celeste, and she asked us to go downtown. And we went downtown. She stopped at this ice cream store, and we walked in. And there were a bunch of fellas. You know, in those days they used to hang out together. There was much to do. And so we walked past them, and I went toward the back, and she introduced me to Daddy's sister, Josephine. And while we were talking, Daddy was walking around. I guess he was looking for an introduction. So I was introduced to him, but I had only talked a couple of minutes, and the girls disappeared. So we sat in a telephone booth together, and that's how we met, you know.
What year was it?
1942.
April?
April.
And then they asked you to go to the prom?
Oh, that was the same day, but after a while we all got together, all the fellows and the girls, and we walked down to the street to another place, and we just hung out. And while I was there, he asked me if I'd go to the senior ball with him.
Wow. And so you were married in 1944.
I was married December 16th, 1944.
In Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Who married you?
Let me think. Father Powers.
Was he an Army chaplain?
Chaplain.
Army?
Yeah, I can't remember the first name.
What hotel?
Ambassador Hotel, the old one. They tore it down now.
Now, where did you live after you got married? You lived on Long Island for a while?
Well, after we got married, we went to, see, after we were married. Oh, we had to leave that Monday afterward to Long Island, New York, because Daddy was going to be stationed at Mitchell Field, a big Air Force base at the time. Now it's a college, but it was a big, very famous base. As a matter of fact, if you hear, there's a movie that is all talking about Mitchell Field. I can't remember the name offhand, but anyway, we lived at different places, 2 or 3 places, and then my daddy found a friend that said he had an aunt that lived alone with a daughter who had a little baby girl while her husband was away, and she loved to have company if you know, he thought of asking if we could stay there. So we stayed with her for 3 months. She liked it, the idea that we stay.
What was her name?
Abigail.
Oh. So then you had Butch in 1945. Where were you living when Butch was born?
Oh,
Back home?
I was home then. It was November 1945, November 25th.
Who were you living with? Your
I
parents?
was living with my mother
So Butch was born at Genesee Hospital.
at Genesee Hospital. And I'm not sure all the times. I think he was born I know he was born on a Sunday, and it might have been about 2 o'clock.
What was it like raising a baby with at your parents' house?
Oh, they loved it. My Butch, he became their, I would just say, he was always over there as he grew up. He was always over his grandmother. The first thing in the morning, they loved him.
How long did you live with your parents?
3 years,
Wow.
yeah.
Dad was working where?
Well, different places because, you know, work was hard to get. He worked at the car shop for a while. He worked at the piano works. Eventually, we decided to move away, and we moved to Wilmot Street, 123, Wilmot Street in the city. And we stayed there 2 years, but the kids didn't like it, Barbara and Butch. So we moved back and bought that big house on Commercial Street.
316
Uh-huh.
East Commercial Street?
Yeah, and we lived there 15 years.
So you really bought it like in 1955. So
Huh?
you bought it before Doug was born.
Well, yeah, it was before that.
Doug came along in 57,
Yeah,
and
then,
I was born in
You
62.
were born in 62.
Yeah. By then, Dad was at the post office.
Oh, yeah, Daddy had a postal job.
Did you like Commercial Street?
Yeah, we did really like it. As a matter of fact, looking back now, I'm sorry I ever sold it. You know, you always think that things coming good or bad.
Grass is greener.
Huh?
The grass is always greener.
Yeah.
Well, you liked Plank Road.
Oh, I like that too, yeah. I mean, it was different when Daddy was gone, you know.
Yeah.
And after they left, I felt alone. And I kind of hung around for about 6 years, you know, around trying to get back. And then one day I decided, well, I think I had gotten my license ahead of time. I went to Morgan School of Driving and took my test in I think it was 1978. Got my license in February 1979, right on Washington's birthday.
Which is your granddaughter Sophie's birthday, February 22nd.
Oh yeah, I didn't, at the time I didn't think it that way.
She wasn't born yet.
You know what I mean. I mean, you ask me all these questions, I don't know what's coming first.
Right? And then you got a job at
Then
Crosman.
after a while I got a job at, I was looking around, and one day I went to Crosman Seed. That's where Robert was working, a lot of my friends. And I tried once, but then I went back, and the second time I went, his name was Joseph. And he said, why would a nice person like you come here? I said, I need a job. And he looked at me and he said, okay, he says, and he gave me the job. And I worked for, well, I must have worked many years. I made a lot of friends, and we had a lot of fun. You know, it was a whole gang of us, you know. You know what we did? We used to sort, I used to have my own desk against the wall with the other desks, and not real desks, but we used to stack seeds, like tomato seeds and flower seeds, and to get them ready to go under the machine to seal. As a matter of fact, before I knew she worked there, and me had worked there.
Oh?
Yeah, Barbara worked there. A lot of people that I knew worked there. It was a small town, you know.
Yeah. So, what was it like? Let's go way back. You were born in 1924. What was it like growing up in East Rochester? You grew up in East Rochester, right?
Yeah, just like anybody. We used to go home from school and jump rope and double dutch, and we'd play games at night, like who stole my land, you know, throw the knife on a circle and see who got the most land, and we'd play hide and seek, or we'd have garage sales. We did all that stuff.
And you lived with a lot of family around you.
Oh, all Italian, actually Italian and Irish.
But I mean,
It was a time when the Italians and Irish had arrived to this country.
Mamu and Tatio were right
They
around the
lived
corner.
right around the corner.
And then Uncle Simon and Aunt Lil.
And Uncle Simon lived with them, and then when he got married, well, actually it's kind of hard to explain. They moved from the house next door to the house Mamu was in. It's kind of hard to
Was your
explain.
brother Tony living in front of you? Oh no, he was
No,
a
my
boy.
brother Tony was.
Who lived in the house in the front?
Which one?
The one that Tony ended up living in with Nancy.
Oh, that was my mother's house.
Who lived there?
Tony and Nancy.
But when he was a kid, who lived there?
Oh, the people that sold it to my mother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Tony and Nancy ended up living
And
there.
they ended up running it. A lot of people rented it. Joe Capiello rented. I don't know if you remember him. and my son. And a lot of people, we kind of pretty much rented the houses to each other.
Now, who was your closest cousin growing up?
My closest cousins were Marie and Titi.
Marie and Titi?
I always was with them.
And how about your favorite aunt and uncle?
My favorite aunt was Florence.
Yeah.
I called her Meme.
Meme?
Uh-huh. And wherever she went, I went. If they went to New York, I went to New York. If they went to New Jersey, I went to New Jersey.
Wow.
In other words, pretty much, I'd lived at their house most of the time, like weekends and summer days and stuff like that.
You took the train
Train where?
to New Jersey or New York?
Which one is that?
You said when they went to New York, you went with them?
Well,
Did they drive or did you take the train?
no, I don't remember. Oh, no, I went with the grandma actually to New Jersey because they had gone to Italy and they were coming back. So my grandma went to Newark to stay with some friends. So when she arrived at the water, she could meet her. So I happened to be with them, only I got lost during that process.
Sounds like you had a fun childhood.
I did.
What was Halloween like?
Same as here.
Candy?
It was just crackers and peanut butter.
Crackers and peanut butter?
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Did you remember putting costumes on?
Yeah, I had costume.
Isn't that something?
I had one, I don't know if I ever wore it, was a double Dutch. Oh, yeah. It was like a Dutch costume.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you liked Betty Boop?
Not really. I think Barbie just kind of pushed me into it.
That's funny.
I don't really remember.
Well, we're going to continue more with Connie in a little bit, but anything you want to say?
Well,
Talking about the old times?
yeah, I got lost in New Jersey.
Well, how old were you?
I was 6 years old when I went there with my grandma to meet my aunt.
With your grandma? You mean
Yeah,
Mamu?
That was the time I told you I went with Mamu.
Just Mamu?
Yeah, I went with my Mamu and whoever to Newark, New Jersey. Yeah, I think it was Newark. And one day I was playing with the kids that lived around there, and they told me to go to the park with them, and I did. But I got bored, so instead of taking the right way home, I took the wrong way. I was about 6, and I was looking for I think it was the only house that had a gate on it, but I couldn't find it. I went the wrong way, and I ended up in a downtown area, and I was crying, and they had a circle of people around me because I had gotten lost and I was crying. So they put me in one of those green station wagons and brought me to the police station. So at the police station, the lady said if I didn't stop crying or whatever, she was going to put me in a dark closet. So after that, after a while, I was on a street corner and they were asking me questions. Did I say that? All right. And they put me on their lap in a station wagon. And I went to the police station. Like I said, she threatened me. And after a while, my grandma came. They found her. And she was going, oh, Maron.
She was happy to see you.
And Maron, she was so excited. And that's how they found me.
All's well that ends well.
Yeah.
Well, we'll continue this. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Okay.
All right.